Ron Harris here from MuscularDevelopment.com at the Legion Sports Fest in Long Beach, California. Coverage brought to you by Legion Sports Fest. Thank you, Legion. Thank you, Chris. Sitting here with Dan Hester, our first Olympia Classic Physique champion, and he's got Rockstar. Who is Rockstar?
Rockstar's my road dog. He goes with me everywhere. He's my trainer, my nutritionist, you name it.
What kind of dog is that?
He's a mixed. He's a half Dotson and half Min Pin, miniature Doberman.
Oh, wow. He's adorable. And how old is he?
13.
Wow. Look at you, dude. So Dan, let's talk shop. What have you been up to as far as training? Where are you at as far as, because you always look to me like you're ready to compete. You stay very, very lean. You were at the Olympia was your last show.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to since then?
Well, I actually was going to do this show, the Legions. I was planning on doing it, but I had a family tragedy, so that really threw me. You know, it's hard to diet when you're always in the hospital visiting someone. And so I'm here doing a seminar and a meet and greet, and I think probably I have to make a decision if I'm going to do the Arnold or not pretty soon. You know, I want to start preparing early. It's just, and of course the Olympia, I'm qualified for life, so I can do that every year without having to do another show. But I love to compete. Every time I compete, I learn something, and it really brings me to the next level of discipline, which I really love. And that's, to me, that's how I improve, you know?
I'm trying to remember, have you done the Arnold before?
I did, I took fourth.
Okay.
I did the very first Arnold.
Okay.
Yeah. Breon won that one. It was right off the Olympia, his Olympia win. He took first and I took fifth at the Olympia. And the year before that, I took first and he took fourth. And that last year I skipped it. And so this year, it's tough because I struggle with getting down to the weight and looking my best. You know, my best would probably be about 10 pounds heavier.
Like, what do you need to get down to for Classic?
175.
Okay.
Yeah. So, you know, that's the thing. It really affects how I look. It affects my protocol. It's just trying to make the weight, and then I have to dial it in afterwards too.
Right.
So I was thinking about just competing and maybe just doing the 212s. So I can just come in looking my best. And to me, that's what it really is about, you know. I won the Olympia already in the Classic division. So for me now, it's really about what I've always wanted to do in this sport, is just keep improving, you know.
Because you turned pro as a bodybuilder. You were a great bodybuilder for many, many years, but you never competed as a pro in a 212, right?
No, they didn't have it. So
Well, I'm saying when you turned pro.
Oh yeah, no, I didn't. No, because I wanted to get in the mindset of competing again, because I took, you know, some time off just training celebrities and pro athletes and stuff like MMA guys and professional boxers.
For those who don't know, Dan trained people like Mickey Rourke, Jean-Claude Van Damme. I'm probably forgetting a couple, but those are the two ones I always remember.
Yeah, a lot of pro fighters, MMA guys. Now I'm working with all the guys on the SEAL team, the show on CBS. Yeah, so I'm always on the studio over there. But for me, it's just about the self-improvement part, you know, and always having to cut that weight. It's tough to get the physique I really think even if it's another 10 pounds more, it makes a difference on me because I have small bones and stuff. And I love that look. So, and I get it when I guest pose. You know, that's why I like guest posing so much, because I can kind of practice getting there and looking the way I kind of want to look. So I was thinking about possibly doing the 212s. Unfortunately, it seems like that division's starting to die down a little bit. They don't even have it at the Arnold anymore.
Right.
So
I mean, their big star was Flex Lewis, and he's moved on.
yeah.
And Jose was, my buddy Jose, definitely another big star, retired.
Well, they don't even have it at the Arnold anymore.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, they haven't had it for a couple of years now.
That's crazy.
It is. It's kind of strange. I want to talk about something because, you know, people talk about Dexter being, it's amazing Dexter can do what he does at 50 years old, but Dexter, I think, just turned 50 like a day or two ago. I turned 50 in September. When, were you back in the spring?
February. Turned 50, yeah.
And, you know, just like Dexter, you would never know it. Your body's has not declined at all.
No.
You know, you don't seem to have lost a damn thing. You know, what do you attribute that to?
Consistency. And keeping close to whatever weight you are all year rather than fluctuating. I think when you fluctuate a lot, that's when you age.
Because I've never seen you blow up and get bloated looking ever.
No, not yet at least.
I mean, I can even remember back in your amateur days, you used to just jump into shows because you were in shape all the time, like stage shape. It was crazy.
Yeah, no, definitely. I enjoyed it. You know, I was an athlete, so for me, I just wanted to live the lifestyle.
And I remember this about you. You were a wrestler back in the day, and you used to go for cardio. You would go to like big wrestling meets and just wrestle all day.
Yeah, freestyle meets.
That's crazy.
I love that, yeah. Just the discipline. I love the discipline of being an athlete, you know, at the highest levels. That's why I love working with the top athletes, you know, in the world, from NFL guys to, you know, pro baseball players, stuff like that.
So you've been a very successful trainer for a while. Have you thought about moving on to become a coach, a prep coach, doing the whole thing for people?
You know, I get a lot of requests. I still have not done that yet. I help people for free a lot of times, you know, just give my advice and stuff. But I would like to. I really would, because I've seen every protocol in the book. I mean, I was with Flex and all those guys back in the early 90s in their hotel rooms before the Olympia. So I got to see some crazy stuff. And just the evolution of everything. And, you know, so there's really not a protocol I haven't experienced yet. And I'm still learning. That's the cool thing about it, you know, because you never stop learning, and your body's always changing. But I would love to work with people, and I think that's going to be soon. I always say, when I'm retired, then I'll work with other athletes in this sport. But I might do it a little bit sooner, because I just want to make sure they do it safe. That's my biggest thing, is to do it safe, and just let them know you got to do it because you enjoy it, not because you're trying to get the accolades of winning a show, because that disappears very fast. But your health is always with you, so always keep that first, because there's going to be other shows. You know, if I know I can look good, but I'm not really prepared enough, and things happen that I'm going to win, I'm not going to go to extremes just to get a couple places higher. That's just, to me, it's stupid. Save yourself. You know what I mean?
And that's why you still look like this at 50, where I can't say the same for a lot of guys we've both known.
Yeah.
Over the years.
Yeah, me and Michael Hearn also.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Mike actually reached out to me the other day and sent me a screenshot of Frank Zane asking him, hey, you think you want to compete? I really want to help you. And Mike took him up on it.
Wow.
In bodybuilding.
Wow.
So you might see Mike competing on stage.
That's crazy.
He looks sick. Honestly, it's amazing. Not only the way he looks, but his strength is unbelievable. Yeah.
So last question for you. You were the original Olympia champion Classic. We've had 4 seasons of Classic now, and it seems like it's evolved and changed, not only the physiques, but how they're judging, especially this last Olympia, where we had Breon show up better than he ever looked, and he still didn't keep his title. And it seems like they're going for something different, where like a classic look with taller, wider, you know. Do you think the judging is finally changing to where it's very different from bodybuilding judging?
You know, I have to be completely honest. Classic, there's a lot of different types of body styles that's classic, and that's kind of hard to pin down because there's different eras of classic, also different body styles. You know, I would say like Gary Stridham was classic to a certain degree, very balanced. Lee Haney was classic. Then you have Lee Labrada that was classic. Serge Nubret was classic even way back then. But it's all different styles, but I really think that they want to do justice with this sport and get a variety of different looks in classic. My very first interview I did after I won was talking about the different classics, and I think this division is not going to hold a title holder multiple like other divisions do, because there's different shapes and sizes. You know, I just don't want to see it get to like a 212 looking kind of physiques, you know, keep it more the lines where the sweep doesn't have to be that crazy. I see a trend of the sweeps on the legs just getting like ridiculous. And to me, unless you're Tom Platz, that's not classic. You know, it's almost classic can get away with just a little bit less leg sweep and more of a V taper.
All those physiques we just talked about that basically were the front runners, the pre-runners of Classic, none of those guys had ridiculous legs.
No, they didn't. It was a balance, you know, it was a nice balance. It's like the comparison between a Superman physique and the Incredible Hulk physique. You see what I mean? It's a little more streamlined, more athletic. So I really hope they kind of chill on that part. Conditioning, always a must in any sport because that's where the discipline is. But just kind of getting back to the performance of it, the overall look with your presentation. I think that is one of the reasons they brought the division back. And I was always really, how would you say, I was really encouraged and motivated by that part of the sport, the artistic side of the sport. You know, for me, that was the beauty of it. You know, the hard work was done in the gym, but when you're on stage, that's your time to have the art displayed. It's not anymore, you know, like you're guest posing. It's got to be another level than just guest posing. You have to put some time into it. You have to hit the shots, the classic shots, the transitions. You know, you want to see athletes that you know that they put some time into it and they practice it. Because
it's funny, I was watching Breon Ansley's latest video. I don't know if you saw it. There's always pancakes or something being eaten, but he was answering Q&As and someone asked him, who are some other guys in class you really look up to for posing? You were the first guy he mentioned.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank Breon.
Yeah. No, I mean, I guess I've been around the longest, you know, and it's nice to see that a lot of people are getting more into that too, and I hopefully it'll be a reflection on the other divisions also. Even the women, I have a lot of the women in the different divisions come up and tell me that also, and that's really how we're gonna break through mainstream, is that aspect of it. You know, when they can see you muscle bound but move with grace and power. I don't care what sport you're coming from or where, you know, what you're doing as far as being outside of the sport. They're going to appreciate that.
I agree. And I think that's why Arnold was one of the reasons he was so popular, and he was a crossover to the mainstream. Because he looked athletic, he looked rugged, but he moved with grace.
Well, and that's the thing, because like I said, it's a performance. That's the performance part of it. And just that's why he did so well in film. Because like, you know, like Jean-Claude Van Damme, I've been training him since the 90s. And that was how he kind of made his breakout. It was because of his physique. We grew up in the days of Stallone, you know, all these guys that had their physiques to go with the action. It wasn't just like today's action guys like, you know, Jason Bourne, that you can be a good actor and just have good stunt choreographers. You know, it was about like making the physique a beautiful physique that was able to move, you know, with grace and power. And that's what inspired me to get into it. And I think that's why a lot of these guys do well in the movies too. That's why Arnold did well, because it's a performance.
Well, Dan, thank you so much. I hope we do get to see you on stage again soon. I hope you're not going to retire for a very long time.
Oh, no. You know, I always tell people, they ask me that, I said, you know, to me it's not about the placings anymore. I already got the blessing of being able to win, you know, at the highest level. So I'm good. I could literally retire and I would have no animosity or anything, but I love doing it. And that's why I've been doing it for so long, and I love mentoring and inspiring other athletes. I don't care if I take 20th. I've already established so much in the industry where that's not where my worth lies. I'm doing it for me now, and I just love to compete and be part of the whole, you know, the whole industry. And I'll keep doing it as long as I'm healthy, number one, and I still have a passion for it. That's it.
Well, thank you, Dan. Thank you, Rockstar. Ron Harris from Muscular Development. This has been our interview with Dan Hester. Thanks for watching.